What's going on, guys? We are back once again, and we are going to be talking more about the Underworld franchise. We're going to be talking about Underworld Rise of the Lycans, the third installment to the Underworld franchise, which I know some people, again, however, your perception is of movies. Again, a lot of movies have this thing that they do is either the second or third movie they pretty much make it into a prequel of what how this happened to become into the first movie or second movie or whatever have you. Now, this story is taken back several, I would say, centuries when the Lycan slash vampire war began, and it starts off with showing how Victor was in control. He had a castle, all his guards was vampires. He had slaves that were Lycans, and the very first Lycan to be born, because it starts off with Lycans being in Lycan form, and it shows how the very first one, which was not Lucian, because Lucian was born from a woman that was bitten by a werewolf, who became the first one that could transform from human to werewolf. And what happens is they gain more and more people to where they bite them and then become slaves to work in the as he said in the first movie, the daylight guardians of the vampires. And they would build this castle, they would build this world for the vampires. And what happens is Lucian has a secret love affair and interest with Victor's daughter Sonya, who is a vampire. I would say probably one of the first of the Death Dealers, slash also the princess of this, this world. And what happens is Lucian and her try to come up with an idea to not only stop the blood feud, but also try to change it. And then when things get out of control, Victor does find out about it and tries to kill Lucian. He does escape, and he later comes back to try to save Sonya. And that's when we see that classic scene of her being burned alive by Victor because of the betrayal between Lucian and his daughter, and he burned her alive because he found out that she was pregnant, and that would have been the very first hybrid, and that's what he was afraid of, was the blend of a species from a hybrid to where it would be both vampire and werewolf. And what happens is Lucian goes to the werewolves for help, and we see this massive armada to where this is how the war started, to where once he lost Sonya to go try to rescue her, he again went to the werewolves for help, and then he had others that became loyal to him. And when this happens, he goes to them for help, and then he goes, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to need everyone. And he goes to the castle, and when the armada comes with all the werewolves to attack the castle, we see this massive battle, and it was badass. I will say this, it was really badass to see all these werewolves attacking the castle during that time frame, and then also seeing them release all the slaves that were, slaves to the vampires. And then we got to see how they got to transform and take on the vampires, and then they took over the castle, and Victor supposedly was dead, but he's not, to where he goes into hiding, and then they transfer him somewhere, I would say, across the Atlantic, probably in the New World at that point. And then that's when it goes into the first movie of he can, as Craven stated, he couldn't bear the thought of draining you dry, because he looks so much like his precious Sonya. And that went into a lot. Now, I know a lot of people were upset, me included, when I first saw this movie, that Kate Beckinsale was not in here, because a lot of people were so thrilled about how the last movie ended and what was going to happen, and how it was going to progress to where Celine was becoming the hybrid vampire, and how it was going to continue the franchise. But unfortunately, they decided to do this. So, what do you guys think of it? Was it a good movie? Was it a bad movie? Was it something that you firmly enjoy still? Or is it something you just kind of skip across if you do watch this franchise? What was your overall feelings of Underworld Rise of the Lycans? Let me know down in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And as always, I'll see you guys on the very next one.